fifth grade. All right, welcome back to the art room. Mrs. Ash here. Last class, we started our mask portrait project, and just like if we were in school in the school building, we wouldn't just jump right in and start the project. So yesterday was our first day of practice where we practiced the parts of a face, and I received many practice sketches of the facial features. And so your job last week was to make me 6 of each. I wanted eyes, eyebrows, nose, and mouth, and I wanted 6 of them on a practice sheet. Okay, that was your job. If you haven't done that yet, I need you to go back and watch that video first. Okay, so I know getting on Seesaw has been really tricky, and it's been lots of families have been struggling between the different links and the different classes, and I absolutely understand that. So if you did not do the first day of this, go back to that one first, okay? And so there's 2 ways to get there. You can go on my YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel's name is Staley Ash. That's my first and last name, and you'll see that on my classes, so that's easy to find, okay? You can search that in YouTube, and all of my videos come up. So you could just click on, Masked Portrait Day 1. Find it that way. If you want to use Seesaw to find it, go to Seesaw, click on your name, find art, and then it will be one of the activities listed there. So it won't be this week's activity, but it'll be the week before. If you do it that way, then you can click add response and turn it in so I can give you credit for working on it. Okay, so since we're not in school together, this is my way to see that you're working. So I need to see that you tried out the practice. All right, so do last week's. Once you've done that, then we're going to start on this week. So this week we're going to practice taking those facial features that we made last week and putting them actually on a face. Where do they go on the face? Okay, that's called proportions. Figuring out how far down we place our eyes, and then how far do we place the nose, and where do the ears go in proportion to the eyes. Okay, and that means where do they go in, if the eyes are here, where do we put those so that they're in the right spot? Okay, and so all of our faces kind of follow a mathematical equation. When you place everything in the right spot, it'll look more realistic. Okay, so it's not super easy, it's kind of tricky, so that's why we're doing a whole day of practice of it. So we are I'm going to turn my camera around, and I will practice getting those facial features in the right spots on the face. And then I want you to practice. Today you're going to do 3 practice sketches of faces. Are you making the masked portrait yet? I can't hear you. Yell it at your screen. No! Right. You're not making the masked portrait yet. This is our final result of this project. So we're doing 2 practice days. That's our last class and this class. And then we'll start to get our paper to fold into a masked person, and then we'll add in the typography, the writing part, and the flip technique. Okay, so get a pencil and get a piece of paper. It can be, I had lots of people turn it in on notebook paper. That's just fine. Okay, as long as you are practicing and taking time. I do not want to see you scribbling through this. Art is a 30 to 40 minute special, right? So even if my video is only 15 minutes, I want you to then be working for the next 15 minutes on it, taking your time and thinking about what you're doing. Like I know you can in the art room. Okay, all right, I'm gonna flip my camera. Alrighty, the first thing we are going to try drawing is the head shape, okay? And this is a tricky one. So what I say for a head shape is I do a rainbow, kind of like a tall, oh, you can't see that, a rainbow line that's a little taller than normal. Okay, that's the top part. And then this bottom part, I like to make a little mark here down in the middle at the bottom, the middle of the line here. And I kind of start to angle that line in and back up. Okay, your head is shaped like an egg. That's a little long. I want you to try 6 head shapes. Okay, so that's not perfect. I even have an extra line here. Just keep going. It's a practice. So I'm going to make my rainbow shape here for the top of the head. I'm going to mark down here where the bottom is, and I'm going to make sort of a capital U that's tapered in. Making my rainbow, making my halfway point. And you can draw lightly till you get it right. So until it feels right. Okay, what did we say? We were going to try making 6 head shapes. All right, there's 5 on there. Okay, you add on 6. Okay, now we have to figure out where things are placed on a head. Okay, so the closer you place them to the right spot, the more realistic it's going to look. So what I like to do is I like to break the head into thirds. Okay, so let's see here. We try and break it so that it's even, that this is the same amount of space as this and as this. Okay, so I've broken it into thirds by putting lines across the head. In this section, here to here, this is where your ear lives. Okay, and so we'll add our ear on both sides there. It's also where your nose and your eyes live, all in this section across your face. And you can feel it on your head, and you can't see me right now unless I try and bring my head down in here. But if you put your hand in this shape and you go from your ear all the way across your other ear, that's where your nose, eyes, and ears all live in the same spot. So if I want to add in this section, I'm going to add on my ears. So an ear, I like to go up, 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 and taper it back in. That's an ear shape. You can also do sort of a long, elongated question mark, up, 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 and back down, and kind of hook it in. So it's like up, 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 and back down, but then hook it in. Up, 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 down, hook it in. Okay? And so when you're drawing someone looking straight forward, you can't really see their whole ear. So you only see a little bit of it. So you don't need to draw them really way out here like that, because you don't see that much of them. So we're going to go up, 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 and back down. Up, 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 and back down. Okay? Now, one of my ears is bigger than the other. Oh, well, this is just a practice. If you want to try and fix it to get better, bring it in a little, erase the first line. There. Okay, so I have my ears. I have them in that section I made. I sectioned my person off in thirds. It looks like this third is not as big as the other one. So instead of having to start over, I'm just going to make my head a little bit longer down on that side. So all right, now inside of this box that we created, making those 3 equal parts on the face, that's where our eyes and our nose is going to live. Okay, so we are going to place our eyes here at the top of the box. And let's add the eyes in right in here. Put in those football eyes. Let's put one either side here, and in between your eyes is the same size as an eye. So an eye should be able to fit in between your eyes. You don't want a third eye there. That might look a little silly. Okay, but that's kind of how you know how far to space them out. Okay, we're not really drawing them perfectly right now. We're just kind of trying to place them. Then the nose is going to end right down in here. Okay, so we can put on that side of the bridge that we practiced last class. We can add on that little C hook here and here and bring it up, right? And we're drawing small on this little head, so it makes it a little bit harder to see what we're doing. We're just trying to get everything kind of in the right spot there. Okay, so we can add on our eyebrows. We know those are the same type of curve as the eye. we're just going to kind of pull in our irises just so that the person doesn't look as scary, right? Okay, so now we have to place in our mouth. We practiced making the mouth last time. The mouth, some people think it's only as wide as the nose. It actually goes all the way out to the center of your iris. Okay, so that your mouth is way wider than you think it is. So it's going to come way out to here. So I'll work on that same mouth shape. I like to make the line first in the center. Then I start the lip part here and I bring it down. Okay? I'm going to try and erase that box there. So I'm going to make my mouth not all the way out to the edge of my eyes, just to the middle of my eyes. Okay? And then you still want to have room for that chin in there. So now that we have everything placed on our face in the right spot, we have our eyes and nose inside this third. We have our mouth starting right under our nose here. Let's see here. So I think I want it to be right at the top of this line. It got a little bit lowered when I erased my line. There, that's more in the right spot, right? Okay, so some kids think their eyes are up here in this forehead area. This whole forehead area, that's the part of, that's where we're gonna have to figure out where your hairline goes on here, okay? Everybody's hairline is different. So let's first, before we add hair, let's try and add the parts on our faces, okay? So let's go ahead and do it to another one. Let's cut it in thirds. And then see, is it in thirds? Is this equal to this equal to this? Okay, good. Now you can kind of place on where your eyes would be. Place on where your nose would be. You don't have to draw it out. Place on where your mouth would be. Try out an ear. Cool. I think we're getting the placement. So put it in thirds, get your eyes at the top of that one, nose here, right? Mouth goes in here, ears are here. Look at our placement, we've got it, okay? All right, I'm gonna make a bigger person so that we can see about hair and let's see here. Okay, so we'll start with our bigger rainbow line, mark it down here at the halfway to bring it in. My head feels a little bit too thin, so I'm going to widen it. That feels better to me. And now I'm going to erase this line. All right, so I have my head shape. Let's make our thirds. Oop, I don't think that's right. It looks like this is way more space than up here. I'll try again. Maybe there. About right. I'll move this up a little. Okay. In here is where our eyes would live. Our nose would fill up this space. Our mouth would be right at this line. Gotta widen my face again, Mrs. Ash. See? Our ears would live in this whole space here, even though you don't realize it, they're that big. Eyebrows right at the top of our line. Okay, so now we have the spots placed on our face. Now we have to add our hair on our head. So feel your forehead and feel, do you have hair that's on your forehead? Probably. If you have a short hair style, you might bring your hair up here from the ear, and you might be able to place some hair right here on your forehead and back over. If you have curlier hair, I would use more of a rounded line, a scalloped line to kind of show the curls here. If you want to place your hair, if you want it to be up, so you have it in a ponytail, it might just look like this on your head because that's your hairline, and then you have a pony in the back of your head, and maybe you have some hair showing a little bit from the back. So we have to think about hairline and how we're going to place that. Let's add on our neck. You don't want it too skinny, but you don't want it too wide so you look like a bodybuilder. Okay, so kind of have my neckline on. That will help me know where I can add my hair. So if I have long hair, I might want it to come down to my ears. And it goes behind this ear. And I can bring it down here like this. Okay? If I wanted it to look like it kind of goes out, you can bring it out and around like that. If you want it to look like it's up, like I said before, close it off here. Maybe you have it coming around, and here's the ponytail of some sort, and here all your hair is coming out from behind, right? So we have a lot of different hairstyles on here, on one person. So short hair, you can just put at the top. Long hair, you can try to show it down here below. I don't know what I have going on here. How am I going to show? Okay, so let's see here. The first thing we did was make 6 head shapes. Okay, so I have 6 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we learned to cut our head. Cut your head, Mrs. Ash. Then we learned to cut our head into thirds, so that this size is the same as this size is the same as this size. So I want to see 6 heads, and I want to see them have these 2 lines on them. Then I want you to place the parts of the face on the head. So let's place on where these would be. We're just doing a simple sketch. We're not drawing them out. This is where they would be. And put the ears on too. Okay, so I want to see 6 heads that have the parts placed on them. And then your last step is to turn into me one that you have completed. You've added on the hair, you've added on the neck, and you've erased out your lines. So let's go ahead and complete this person here. Alrighty, now here is my sketch of my girl. I'm going to erase out all of my lines. Alright, so a little long between our nose there. Okay, so when we look, we have one girl that we tried to draw, and we have 6 different head sketches. So should you have 6 finished portraits? No, that would be crazy in one class. What you should have is 6 heads where you have split them into thirds, and you've tried to place the facial features in the right spots. Okay, so I've practiced that almost 6 times. I have one here that I didn't finish. Some of the heads could be more finished than others. Like this one, I started to place hair on, and I even added irises. And some are just shapes placed in the right spots. Okay, so this is called proportions. This will help a head look more realistic, or a person look more realistic, because if you place the parts in the right spot, it will start to look like a real human. Okay, now it won't be perfect. And then this was the one I decided to finish up. So as you can see, it's all on the same paper. None of it's perfect. It's a practice day. Okay, so here's the girl I practiced placing everything in the right spot, and here are the ones that I am still working on. I even have some ears up here. I'd love to see you working on practicing hair. Maybe put your head and practice what you think that hair would look like. Can you look in the mirror and see, what does my hair look like on my forehead? Can you place it on there, okay? So today, hair, ears, and trying to place those parts of the face in the right spots. All right. Alrighty, so we have our practice faces day done. All right, so we still have our question up here about how can I tell about myself through art? So we are going to be telling about ourselves when we make this picture, because we're going to tell people about who we are. We're drawing ourselves. We're going to tell about what we like, or maybe our mask is going to look like one of our favorite colors, or it's going to be like our favorite sports team. This is going to tell even more about ourselves, because we're going to talk about the different character traits that we are here in the middle. Our art also tells about us because it can tell that we're a hard worker, or we're creative, or we're silly, just by looking at what our art looks like. Okay, so we are going to be working on that for this whole project. We're still in the practice phase. I'm going to say it one more time because I want to make sure everybody understands. The first day you are practicing which way is right? This way. The facial features. The second day you're practicing placing them on a head. Okay? Do I have 6 finished pictures? No! Just one that I finished, and it's not even finished, it's just a sketch. Okay, it's not perfect. I'm looking at it, the lips are too low. It's okay. So we're gonna practice getting them on a head today, and sending me one where you put them all on there. Okay, I want this to take you the full 30 to 40 minute art class. So my video might only be 20 minutes, so I want you to be working on the drawing part for the other part. Okay, all right, 5th grade. The kids that sent me their art, I'm super impressed. Okay, I want to see all of your practices. You seem like you're doing an awesome job for this virtual learning. Art on a video, I know, is not as easy as it would be in the classroom. So keep being flexible, keep rocking it, and don't forget to turn in your art to me. Good job.